being out here is always having to trim the sails and like make sure they're right. Ben calls it sail management, but I call it just like interrupting my relaxation. There's this damn rock right in the middle. In Indonesia, it's about paying attention to what's going on around you. What do we do on shift change, Ben?
Apparently we get drunk.
Let's do shivas. Cheers.
Oh. I'm Ben, that's Ashley. Together, we did the unimaginable. We sold everything and then set off on a mission to sail around the world.
Civilization. See you later.
28 countries later and over 25,000 nautical miles, we are only halfway around the world.
I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Subscribe to follow the adventure as we finish this lap. We're out of here. We're done with Indonesia. Well, almost.
We're officially checked out. We are officially leaving Belitung, which is where we checked out. And this apparently is the last clear water we will see for quite some time. And that's really sad. So we have friends ahead of us and they're saying, you know, swim now.
We're making our way towards the notorious Malacca Straits, a super narrow shipping channel connecting the Indian and Pacific Oceans. And in this episode, we take you along on a pretty typical day in the life of sailing around the world.
Is that all you got?
Yeah. Right now.
You go in the slow direction? Oh my god, you're putting your whole body into it.
It's hard.
That's like the wussy way of cranking. Oh yeah, bicep move. Bicep move. Oh, bicep. There you go. That's how a sailor sails.
Ugh. Dude, that's epic.
It's amazing how much faster you go sailing compared to motoring. It's really nice. It's a lot quieter. I prefer sailing. Yeah, it's interesting. We move so much and yet we're still kind of sad, I think, when we leave sometimes. Sad to be done with Indonesia. Indonesia is pretty cool. Like, it has some pretty cool people and some pretty crazy culture. But we have to move. Our visa's expired and that's how it always goes here on Nahoa. Always moving, always going west around the world. Sometimes when you're out of here, you get like creepers or peepers on board. Like, check these guys out. Got two guys constantly watching us. They're pretty good house guests though.
There's one guy. They're pretty shy. But like Ben said, they're good house guests, no giant poops. And they're just chilling. They're hanging out. They're having a good old time on our dinghy and our solar panel. These guys can stay. Boobies, we've learned, are a little bit they're a little bit like messy. As house guests, they poop like nasty poops. But these guys, they're kind of cute. I like them. Chirps we like to shoo away. They like to fly inside and poop everywhere.
That's part of boat life.
So these little birds right here, like they're little swallows, they almost always come on our boat when we're offshore. And what's going on is they're tired. Now he's gone in the other bedroom. He's trying to find a spot to die is essentially what's happening. Dude, you can't. They know they're gonna die, so I'm gonna make them a little home. Try and give them some water, but usually they just end up dying. That's part of passage life. That's part of going offshore.
You always have to be on top of the wind conditions and how the boat's sailing in them. So you want to make sure it's a nice comfy ride, but you're still going fast, and And you want to make sure you don't have too much sail out for the conditions or too little sail out for the strength of the wind. So it's all about managing your sails and your boat and the people on board, really. Making sure they're happy, healthy, and fed.
Did you say fit or fed?
I said fed, but we do also sometimes do our little exercises at night. Night passages when we actually like work out on the boat, and it's kind of fun.
We're just coming into a night shift here, and we're debating of dropping this big white sail up front and putting up a big billowing spinnaker, which is harder to manage, but makes you go faster.
Wind went aft.
What does that mean?
And it means that it's a bit slower speed of sail, and we would go faster with our spinnaker maybe, but it also means I gotta let the main out again. There's this damn rock right in the middle.
Damn rock.
I don't know, it's really bugging me. It doesn't make sense.
The rock is bugging you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, you know the other thing about this stupid rock that's in our stupid way is that it's probably not even there because the charts are so inaccurate that it probably does not exist. But you don't know because now it's on a chart and so it could be there, but it could not be there. And in Indonesia, more often than not, it isn't there, but you just don't know. So you gotta go around the invisible, probably not there, but might be rock. It's annoying.
The captain's cooking tonight.
Tonight. That's a good passage meal.
If we maintain an average speed of 7 knots.
We've only averaged 6.5, so why do you think we'll do 7?
I'm talking to the camera. I'm talking to them. If we maintain 7 knots, we get in one night. If we maintain like 5 knots, we have to do 2 nights out here. So my vote is spinnaker all night long. What do you think, Ash?
We'll see, darling. We'll see what the angle is. We'll see what the wind's doing.
You don't seem too enthused about it.
Well, we're only doing 6.5 knots right now. And
7.7.
yeah, but average 6.5.
What do you think?
I don't know.
Spinnaker? Spinnaker.
We will see, my friend. We will see.
Spinnaker.
Maybe.
Looks like we're in for a nice evening. The thing is, when you're sailing out here, is you're only as good as your team. I got one team member right over here. I don't think I'd trade her in for much. I mean, I don't know what I would trade her. I don't even know why I'm entertaining this thought in front of her. How's your teammate?
My teammate's pretty good. He trimmed his nostril and eyebrow hairs today. He looks beautiful.
It's not too bumpy out tonight. It's like blowing 15 knots, but it's a little bit on the side of the boat, so it's like you get some wobbles. Anyways, when it's bumpy, we make grilled vegetable. It's really easy. You just chop some veg. Put in some oil. Throw it in the oven. Bill's your uncle.
So, welcome to night shift. We have had a few questions lately about what it's like on night shift, and so I thought I would try and explain it. Night shift can be super duper awesome. It can also be super challenging. And it totally depends mostly on where you are and where you're sailing. Right now we're sailing in Indonesia, and it's slightly more challenging. I'll give you that. Some nights here, I'll get the freak show thing happening here. That's better. So some nights it's fantastic, and you gotta just cruise. Like crossing the Pacific Ocean, we had nobody and nothing and no ships passing in the night, and you didn't have to worry. I mean, it was blissful. Some people even went to sleep, you know, like it's one of those things. But around here, you really need someone on shift pretty much all the time. Daytime, nighttime. There's so much boat traffic, there's ship traffic, there's tug and barge traffic, there's fishing boats. Some have AIS, some don't. So basically, night shift in Indonesia is about paying attention to what's going on around you. It takes our radar 70 seconds or 90 seconds or something to run. I think it's 70 to warm up. 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, now I can turn it on. And right away, some of the ships start popping up. This is 24 nautical miles. I can see there's 2 ships, maybe 3 right there. So this is more of a squall. Not a squall, but like a lightning cloud. And these are ships, the big red square ones. And then I go and check them with what shows on the AIS to make sure that I know the ones around, and also kind of keep an eye out for any that aren't. For example, this one isn't showing on AIS, but these are probably fishing boats that I have to start paying attention to as we come up to them. So about every half hour, if we're in a busy area, it's always a good idea to just kind of pop in and take a look at what's on radar, just to make sure that you are fully aware and you have used all the tools to make sure you're not going to run into anything or anybody. So that's pretty much it. Nighttime's pretty chill. Let's do Shivas. It's like the best we got, I think. It so happens that it's just shift change, and it's middle of the night. And what do we do on shift change, Ben?
Apparently we get drunk. 12:30 a.m. Time to get drunk.
We're heading up to Malaysia, and in Malaysia there is a duty-free port called Langkawi. And in Langkawi, that's where everyone buys booze, so we're a little shy on the alcohol department right now, because in Indonesia you don't buy it. So it's the middle of the night, and we are crossing the equator again. It's our 4th time. The first time we crossed it, we were heading from Panama to the Galapagos, and that's where we hit the South Pacific for the first time. It was freaking amazing. We managed to hit that in the daytime. That was pretty cool. Then the next time we crossed the equator was on our way north to Palau from Papua New Guinea, and we were heading up in towards the Philippines. That was nighttime. And then the 3rd time we crossed the equator was heading south from the Philippines into Indonesia, and we pretty much almost missed it. And tonight I was paying a little bit of attention. We're getting really close, like we're like half a mile away from the equator. And it's middle of the night again, and we are heading north right now to Malaysia, Singapore area. Basically we're heading to Singapore, but we're gonna stay on the Malaysia side of Singapore because it's way less money. And we got to do another toast to Neptune, and we love toasting Neptune because he is our protector. Neptune is our dude.
Neptune, now I need to have a little chat with you. We had a little talk, you and I, about 6 months ago, last time we crossed the equator, and I ordered up some tuna, mahi-mahi. You did not deliver. I ordered up some wind that is not on the nose. Tonight we got wind directly on the nose, directly from in front of us again. So you're not holding up your part of the bargain.
He's not allowed to ask for those things, Neptune. Just thanks for keeping us safe on these oceans. We've had some fantastic passages and we've had some shit passages, but that's all to be expected. We have never crossed the equator with wind. It is always completely dead when we cross the equator. We are always motoring across the equator. So, 4th time a charm, Nahoa motors across the equator once again. Remember, it's for Neptune. We toast Neptune, we take a sip, and we give Neptune the rest. I'll give you a little extra splash in your glass so you can have a good old sip. Cheers to Neptune.
To Neptune. Oh, you gotta drink some, bro.
I thought I'd just give it all to Neptune tonight.
You gotta drink it, bro.
I don't really know if that's really the tradition.
Cheers, Neptune. Don't fall overboard.
To Neptune.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate everything you do for us. About that tuna, though, you know, maybe the Indian Ocean. Maybe you're saving it all up for the Indian. I think so. And I'm stoked. I'm stoked for the Indian. I'm stoked. And oh, by the way, we're making a small little Neptune.
What?
That's not a bad name.
What are you gonna do? Nept for short? Like inept? Sorry, Neptune. I think you gotta be a pretty big god to carry that name. We hope you've enjoyed anyway, we hope you've enjoyed our little blog. We hope you've enjoyed our short tour of Malaysia. We've certainly had a fantastic
Not Malaysia,
time.
it's Indonesia.
Shit, Indonesia? Usually it's me correcting you. We hope you've enjoyed our